Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and otherwise. I'm Lamar Haven. Welcome back to Remember 11. Unless we left our heroes, we were gradually getting feeling back into our body. Because you see, we were outside. Satoru was locked out of the Sphere facility. He managed to find his way, and us, as Satoru, managed to find our way back in. Who's trying to kill Satoru? Why are they trying to kill him? I have theories, but why don't we go ahead and keep playing and find out if any of them are correct. Because you see, gradually, feeling came back into my fingertips. The sensation of pain returned. Then, because I had suddenly made contact with the hot water, my body had got goosebumps. Gazing into the mirror, I noticed Satoru's face was a mess. It was wet and soggy with tears and snow. The lips were ghastly blue, shivering from the cold. I also used the water to wash my face. Pleasant warmth sank into my body. Alive. I'm alive. I smiled without realizing it. I was stranded out in the intense cold by the murderous monster, and I had managed to return alive and safe. I laughed as the warm steam washed over me. I'm alive! Eh? Suddenly I felt a sharp pain near my waist. Turned around slowly. Someone was standing there. I couldn't see their face. Next, a piercing pain through my back. I realized that a solid, sharp object had pierced my body from behind. I'd been stabbed with a knife. Well, game over! That murderous monster had been waiting for me to return to the building. Likely they'd been watching my movements from inside, in order to ambush me in Satoru's room. I collapsed into the bathtub. Convenient for cleaning. Blood began to pour from my body. From within my fading consciousness, I saw the face of the person raising their knife overhead. Eeyore! The story is not finished yet. Truth is not revealed, and it circulates through an incident. It is an infinity loop. Did I just get bad end? What? I'm sorry, what? Were we 2 steps away from a bad end when I last left off? Oh no! Oh no! When did I get a bad end? What did I do wrong? I don't... No, hold on a second here. Hold on. 1 goddamn second. Shortcut. What does this do? Oh, this lets you skip to certain days. Why is it... That's odd. Okay, well that's where we left off. Let's start from there and see if I can make any decisions that help me. How do you... Give me a second. I need to find the skip button. Actually, come back. I need to see all the controls. Right control, escape, back button, or numpad 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, delete. No. Message. Oh, that's the message history button. I forgot that existed. Hold on, let me turn that off. There's supposed to be a button. There's supposed to be a button that lets me skip past anything we've already read. So... Tab, left control, F1. Well, it's skipping. I guess we just need to wait till a decision is made, then we'll see. Okay. Okay, so any decision we made is grayed out. Any decision we haven't made is still white. Good! For now, let's walk away from the building. For now, I decided to walk away from the building because I felt the murderous monster was watching my every move, which makes a lot of sense. If I went straight to my room, whoever killed me could have just looked out a window and been like, ha! That's where he's going. Let's go meet him. Stabby stabby! They're planning on me coming back inside the sphere in panic. The murderer probably has this in mind. I set my freezing feet in motion and started to walk. Stepping firmly onto the snow, I decided to take refuge in a part of Sphia where the light didn't reach. With Sphia's gate locked behind me, I advanced diagonally to the right. This sounds like a much better idea than what I had before. It wasn't at all easy to walk in the thick snow. Every step I took sapped my energy. And then there was the snow. The falling snow was slowly narrowing my field of vision. A blizzard is near. When I turned around, the lights of Sphia were so small I was surprised. It was obstructed by the snow. This may be within the premises of Sphia, but one wrong move and I'll be lost. If I lose my way, I could go into hypothermia and lose consciousness and freeze to death. Really? This is the first time we've discussed hypothermia? That's actually kind of surprising. Hypothermia, a physical condition in which the body temperature is abnormally low, causing it to gradually fall further and further, may result in death. Hyperthermia is the exact opposite. Your body temperature is too high. It can result in the destruction of body cells and brain death. I need to set a reference point. What should I use for a reference point? A little troubled, I decided to use the basketball court. Basketball court should be slightly illuminated. Even if I get lost, I can use that as a landmark. Treading through the snow, I advanced step by step. Started to lose feeling in my fingertips. They had turned a violet color. Due to the extreme cold, my teeth chattered. How long has it been? Cold. I collapsed on the spot. Hasn't been more than 10 minutes since I left Sphia, but I've lost all feeling in my arms and legs already. If I stay here, I'll die. I started moving my frozen limbs and tried to advance further. As I raised my head, I was horrified. The snow had completely closed in my field of vision. This is a whiteout. Whiteout! A weather condition in which the field of vision is obscured by white due to wind-blown snow in the air, greatly diminishing one's ability to discern vertical, horizontal directions and distance. It can be described as a white darkness of sorts. There's another form of whiteout which is caused by diffuse reflections from snowy surfaces, clouds, and the like. In this case, the air becomes saturated with white light, rendering movement and the gathering of visual information virtually impossible. Actually, if it is a sunny day after a strong snow, and you don't live in a snowy area and you don't know about this, it is actually best if you wear sunglasses if you go out or look outside, because you can actually blind yourself temporarily, or even cause serious damage in certain cases if the snow is particularly reflective from the sun reflecting off the snow. I can't see anything. Which way should I go? My cry was sucked into the white darkness. Gotta do something. If I stop here, I'll die. I continued fumbling my way through the white darkness. The perfect whiteness of storm obscured even the tips of my own fingers from view. I had no clue where I was. Am I heading towards Sphia? Maybe I'm heading the wrong way. I soon lost track of all that. Nothing but pure white world without end. Terrified, I screamed out loud. My cry, too, was sucked in the pure white darkness. In the white world that enveloped everything, I fell down. The cold snow covered me. Well! Good luck, Satoru! I was lying down on a wooden bed. The air was painfully cold. My breast settled down. This is the shelter cabin. A small fire was burning in the stove. However, to me who had just been walking in the snow, the blaze was a much appreciated blessing. I'm saved! I flew to the stove. I grabbed the stove, almost hugging it, but I immediately realized my mistake. No, I'm not safe at all. Satoru's body was still in the snowfields of Sphia. Only my consciousness only transferred here. And at the exchange, Satoru in the snow. I took out the VR. I turned on the switch impatiently and played it. No messages from him. I pushed the recording button. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for having been locked out. I couldn't move in the snow anymore. Please, somehow be safe. I shut my eyes, pressed my hands together, and started praying. While trembling from the cold and praying, I desperately hit the VR switch. What the hell? We've never had a switch go that quick before. I had transferred again. I collapsed on the snow. My limbs, which were frozen stiff, won't move. I couldn't even close my eyelids. The snow stuck in my eyeballs. I'd stopped trembling. Couldn't even feel the cold. I couldn't hear anything. All I could feel was my heart pounding as if it was defective. I slowly lose consciousness. I fall into the pure white darkness. I fall. Another bad end! The story is not finished yet, truth is not revealed, and it circulates through an incident. It is an infinity loop. Well, okay then. All of a sudden, I'm running into bad ends. Save system data. Alright. Well. Continue from a shortcut. Start from here. Just hold it on tab until we get our choice time. For now, walk away from the building. And oops, stop. If I advance blindly, I'll just end up getting more lost. Keeping my emotions in check, I stopped moving. As the snow continued to fall, it began to erase my tracks. The cold air pierced my body the same way a sharp sword would. I muttered in the snow-white world. I'm sorry, Satoru. I'm no good, I guess. Despair took hold of my mind. But suddenly the wind blew. White curtain disappeared for an instant. In front of me I could see the basketball court. Let's go! Digging a path through the snow with my shaking hands, I began to move. I made it! After reaching the court, I followed my earlier path back to Sphia. With this little detour, the killer should lose me as well. At last I arrived at Terrace of Sphia. I held my breath. I quickly looked for someone inside, but there wasn't a single trace of anyone. Hoping for some warmth, I clung to the window pane, but the glass didn't grant me any comfort. Yuni, Utsumi, and Hattori. Where did they all go? No. An unpleasant premonition crosses my mind. Did that someone also attack them? This is similar. This is familiar. Shaking my head, I tried to erase that idea. I tried to see whether or not I could open the window. Was the window locked from the inside, or would it just not open? In any case, checking out the window yielded no favorable results. I gave up on the window and left. My consciousness was starting to fade out due to the unbearable cold. After a while, a small window came into sight. I peeked inside. It was a private room. My body won't stop shaking. I can't feel my limbs anymore. Walking with my dull legs feels like swinging massive logs. This is all stuff we've heard before. If I don't hurry, I'll collapse soon. Try my best to regain my composure. I peeked inside. Whose room? It's dreary. Notepad. This is Tori's. So let's go to the right side toward the terrace. But I think this is the wrong way. My steps are uncertain. The incessant snow and wind, just crossing the terrace is a laborious task. I think I'm doing this wrong. What I did everything right up until this point, but I should have gone to Satoru's room because we lost the killer now, instead of going straight there. But I still want to check. I feel strength being sapped by the cold. I couldn't even walk in a straight line. I can't reach Satoru's room. Just more time before I pass out. How did things end up like this? What did I ever do? Thinking of a hopeless situation caused me to start sobbing uncontrollably. The tears won't stop. Tears running down my cheek felt unbearably cold. Lying in daze, I reached another room. Tried to push open the window, almost clinging to it. Why won't it open? I don't remember locking it. Leaning against it, I took a look inside. Inside the dark room, women's clothes were laying folded on top of the bed. This is Utsumi-san's room. Damn, I was wrong. Satoru's room was on the other side. Should I go back? Considered that for a moment, but I shook my head. It's impossible. In this snow, I can't circle around the building and make it to the other side. My legs won't move anymore. I'll go inside from here. I eagerly brushed aside the snow with my hands that felt like sticks. I thought about looking for a stone, but I couldn't find one. My vision was blurred. My body was numb for the cold. Suddenly felt a hard object with my numb fingertips. A stone. A stone the size of a fist. I don't even have enough strength to grip it. Holding it between my hands, I lifted the stone up. Using every bit of strength in my body, I heaved the stone against the window. Over and over again. Like a madman, I kept pounding away with the rock. Then, it broke! I thrust my hand in through the crack. Through the crescent lock, turning the crescent lock, I opened the window. Luckily, the interior window wasn't locked. Maybe this was actually the right choice. I mean, they would have gone to Satoru's room anyway, right? Warm air wrapped around my body. I'm saved. Tears flowed out from the sheer relief I felt. Even my numb limbs were starting to feel pain again. I hurriedly entered the bathroom. I watered my hands with hot water from the shower. I gritted my teeth as I held my hands under water so hot it made me instinctively want to spring back. Gradually, feeling came back to my fingertips. Sensation of pain returned. This is all very similar. It's wet and soggy tears of snow, shivering cold. I'm alive. Nope! Stabbed again! What the hell? Now I'm confused. Alright, I'm gonna try going to Sataru's room at that setup. I think it's because we bashed through with the rock and they heard it. I think that's the problem. But that was a little strange. Alright, continue. Shortcut. There we go. I feel like I've hit every bad end I could so far. Now walk away from the building. Stop. The right towards the terrace. Oh no, I went the wrong way. Damn it. I had to go left. Silly me. Yes, it's an infinity loop. We've noticed. Continue. Shortcut. White World. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Keigo just wants your love. We don't know it's Keigo. Don't make assumptions. Maybe a suit made of your skin? Alright, left side. Oh, I can't skip anymore. I'm holding tab and it's not skipping. Cool, so that is the button for skipping, but only dialogue that we've seen before. My numb limbs started to feel pain again. I hurriedly entered the bathroom. Okay, so all this is the same. After I warmed my body to some degree, I left the bathroom and changed my clothes. Okay, now we're at new dialogue. Cool, we done right. I searched through the closet for something suitable and changed into a warmer shirt. Inside Sophia was deathly quiet. Not a single sound could be heard. Hope no one was around. Someone who attacked me must still be in the facility. No doubt about it. Right, the lock. If I lock the door and shut myself out in here, I can avoid this impending crisis. Ran to the door. I was about to put my hand on the knob, and at that moment... Was that a scream? It sounded like a scream reached my ears. I could hear the wind and other high-pitched sounds, but that voice... Was it Uni? Screaming? Had Uni been assaulted by someone? I peered out of Sataru's room. The kitchen was dark. I frantically strained my eyes. I couldn't see anyone in there. What do I do? That voice I just heard definitely sounded like it was screaming. Moreover, it sounded like Uni's. That someone may have decided to target Uni instead of me. At this moment right now, the assassin's knife might be pointed at him. I have to save him! Ah! I heard noises. They'd come from the underground storeroom. Uni? Are you there? Are you okay? Lowering my voice, I called out to him. There was no reply. I'm scared. Someone may burst out of it at any moment. I'm scared. But I bit my lip and stepped forward in the dark kitchen. Step by step, I advance. Peering down the stairway into the underground storeroom, I called out to him. Uni, if you're there, answer me! No reply came. A silence so total it was painful, it soothed. The stairway leading to the basement yawned open like the jaws of a monster. It was pitch black downstairs. I stepped into that darkness, slowly climbing down the stairs. I'm scared. Really scared. Because of this overwhelming terror, my legs will start shivering. Kurt Dog! Thank you for the host. I appreciate it greatly. Cold sweat streamed down my forehead. My throat was dry. I raised my voice in the darkness as I descended into the underground storeroom. Please, if you're there, answer me, please. My voice was hoarse. Swallowing my saliva, I continued. Uni, are you alright? Silence was the only reply. Maybe the scream was a figment of my imagination. I should go back to the room. As I nodded to myself, I put my hand on the handrail. And then, in that instant, the sudden noise made me jump in fright. That was a little creepy to me, too. What was that? I focused my eyes and squinted the best I could in the darkness. At the edge of my vision, I saw a small rat run past me. I sighed in relief and put a hand to my chest. Ah, just a rat. Eh? In that moment of relief, from the darkness, the shadow of a person rushed out. Ah! I was pushed aside by a strong force. I tumbled to the concrete floor. I sensed that someone behind me. I frantically turned around. Because of the darkness, I couldn't see the person's face. Instead, I saw something else. Something dreadful. In the dark, shining softly, was a knife. No! No! I frantically waved my arms in front of me, trying to push the body of that someone away from me. Well, good luck, Satoru! Again! Between anxiety and collapse. That means we've moved forward! Hey! I let out a scream. What is it? Yomogi was there in front of me. Huh? What happened? One that was chasing after me. Was Yomogi? Why was he a Sphia? Another fit? Yomogi stared at me wordly as he spoke. I see, so the personality exchange occurred. I was sitting on a wooden bed. This isn't Sphia. This is the shelter cabin. Yet whether because the flame in the stove was too small or something else, I was freezing cold. My breath was so wide it felt like I might turn to ice at any moment. I wrapped my shoulders in my blanket. My heart continued to hammer like an alarm bell. Because my mind suddenly transferred while I was in crisis, my body might still be reacting to it. You look pale. You alright? I'm fine. I nodded to Yomogi and returned to my own bed. After covering myself with a blanket, I closed my eyes. Really, I wasn't alright at all. I wanted to shout out loud for someone to save me. The fear of hunger and freezing to death. I'm slowly dying here in the shelter cabin. And it's via the hand of the murderous monster draws ever nearer. Being exposed to a never-ending succession of different terrors, my spirit is shattered. My heart doesn't have time to calm down. If things keep going on like this, I'll break. I muttered through shivering lips. But now wasn't the time to be whining. While I'm being chased by someone with a knife, my personality transferred to the shelter cabin. Right now, Satoru's personality should be inside his body, which meant he suddenly transferred into his body while still being pursued by that person. Is Satoru alright? I was incredibly uneasy. I felt guilty escaping the shelter cabin as Satoru was being assaulted. Be safe. Joining my hands together, I muttered as if praying. Then I heard Izumi shouting, Hey! It's too cold! The bed began to creak. My Izumi was trembling. Be quiet and sit down. If you don't conserve, there won't be anything left in my morning. Do you want to die? I feel like I'm dying right now. Yomogi opened his mouth to complain, but only a sigh emerged. There's no other choice. Yomogi stood up from his bed and approached the stove. He started throwing the piled up firewood onto the stove. Soon after, the fire grew larger and the air became warmer. Damn it. At this pace, it won't last until morning. Even though he said that, he was trembling as well. He held his hands over the stove. Even at such an experienced mountaineer, Yomogi found it cold in the shelter cabin unbearable. His decision to build up the fire may have been based on the judgment that we'd all end up dying from the cold if things ended up continuing as they were. I started thinking to myself while blowing on my frozen fingers with white breath. If all the firewood disappears at this rate, how cold will it get? I couldn't even imagine. Star said that he was at ease here. However, with this, there probably isn't any comfortable ground left for him. Because with each passing moment, this place is further transfigured into a freezing hell. However, Sphia was also hell in another sense. Satoru really alright? That's right. I took out the VR with a shaking hand. My other hand clumsily hit the playback switch. The message began to play. Kokoro, at this very moment I'm being chased through Sphia. I ended up jumping here right after I was attacked. I'm begging you, please make it out safely. Damn it, not being able to do anything is so irritating. If your personality ended up dying because of me, I don't know how I'd ever be able to apologize to you. I don't even mind if I lose an arm. So please, be safe somehow, Kokoro. The tone of the message sounded almost as if you were throwing up blood. The murderous monster began attacking before I transferred. But then, in the middle of the attack, Satoru and I exchanged personalities. That's why he was so impatient. I'm safe, but this time I'm worried about Satoru. My wristwatch was, as I thought, in my pocket. I'd usually get angry about that now, but right now my wristwatch being taken off allowed me to be able to feel his existence. I'm positive Satoru, who's inside me, had jumped back to Sphia just as danger drew near. Please be alright. I closed my eyes and clasped my hand tighter. I desperately prayed while shivering from the cold. Well! I wish I could figure out what triggers the damn transfers! But I'm not seeing a pattern necessarily. Originally, I kind of thought it was like whenever you have a strong sense of identity, you transfer back. And a strong sense of concern, you transfer there. That doesn't explain the initial transfers. So is it completely random, or is there a pattern I'm just not seeing? I blinked several times, and understood immediately that I had transferred. The time period between transfers was strangely short this time, which is why I'm suspicious that there is a pattern somehow. I held my breath and looked around. This is the basement storeroom of Sphia. Someone was after Satoru. The murderous monster may be hiding somewhere, targeting me at this very moment. And all of a sudden a hellish scene appeared before my eyes. Who dat? I saw him in, like, the intro scenes. But there's nobody here wearing a suit. This is so weird. Are there secret parts of the facility for observation purposes by staff or something? Because that's the only thing I can think of. I was speechless. I began to doubt my own eyes. In front of me was the corpse of someone I did not recognize. Crimson blood was flowing out of the man's body. The blood had formed a pool that was spreading across the floor. All I could smell was the scent of rusted iron coming from the blood. Nausea rose in my throat. I covered my mouth to hold it back. What is this? Who is this? I had thought Satoru was about to die, but now some man I didn't know lay dead before me. What was happening? So what is going on? Sensing someone's presence, I jumped and looked up. Hattori was standing stock still next to the corpse. And we saw this scene during the intro too. I was wondering when it was gonna happen. Okay, so it looks pretty clear she killed him. But the question is, was it Hattori? Was it the murderer's personality, Keiko? Or was it in self-defense? Was it aggressive? Who is this guy? Too many questions. And she looked completely terrified. So either she did it in self-defense and is completely horrified by what she did, or she switched personalities after Keiko did it. Either way, fuck! Her clothes and her hands were covered in blood. The fresh blood in her body and her clothes was still wet. In her hand was a knife dyed red. It can't be. An ominous premonition came to mind. No other than a premonition, it was a conviction. Inubushi Keiko had awoken. The personality of the murderous monster within her has awoken. Did she kill this man in front of me? Does that mean she was the one after Satoru? Hattori was staring at me blankly. I gulped as my breath caught in my throat. My knees trembled. Our eyes met. Her eyes were hollow and somehow frail. Suddenly Hattori blinked several times. She looked down at her body and the knife she was holding. Panicking, she threw the knife away. She looked at me again. This time her eyes widened. Before my eyes, Hattori turned pale. She started to shake her head, slowly at first, then gradually increasing in intensity. She took one step towards me. She extended a blood-soaked hand to me. Unable to take it, I took a step backward. Confused by what was happening, Hattori opened her mouth. Only a wheezing sound came from her throat. I trembled in fear as she continued shaking her head. Every time she took a step forward, I took one step backward. No! Hattori drew closer and closer. Blood dripped down from her extended hand. The blood-stained hand looked like a tentacled limb of the devil coming to take my life. Tentacled limb? You have an interesting view of the devil. Stay away! Before I realized I was backed up in the corner of the room. My back hit a shelf. Wooden box on the shelf made a sound as abrupt as a gunshot as it fell. Hold her hand until it's okay. You always love her. You had me about halfway through that sentence, Lou. You had me about halfway through. God damn it. I heard a scream from close by. Hattori and I looked in the direction of the voice at the same time. Behind the shelf, yeah, it was a shadow of a small person. It was Uni. Covering his eyes with his arms, head in his arms and trembling, Uni slowly raised his eyes. His face was distorted with tears. His eyes were swollen and turned deep red. Why was Uni here? I was getting more and more confused. My head was totally blank as I simply stood bewildered at the incomprehensible situation before me. Uni was terribly frightened. Once again, he lowered his head and covered it with his arms. Ed, he had muttered something in a small voice. Going to be murdered. Everyone's going to die. Going to be murdered? By whom? I looked at Hattori. Her eyes were gazing off somewhere far away. He continued to wheeze as he spoke. Uni continued to murmur in a shaky voice between sobs. It didn't seem like he was able to speak the way he wanted to. Lies. Everyone is lying. Hattori didn't kill. What? What did he say? Everyone is lying. Hattori didn't kill? Then who killed the man? My throat was completely dry. It was painful to breathe. My heart continued pounding furiously. Why was Uni here? Why was he crying like this? Does Uni actually know everything about Mai and Satoru's personality transfers? What if being an innocent child